The last presentation of the day, so it will be Dr. Deluc presenting on the SAVER project. Aurélien, floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Aurélien Deluc. I'm a thrombosis doc in Ottawa. And today I would like you dragons to invest your invent money in my randomized controlled trial. You know that despite our best care with this, that, or even this, sorry sponsors, many patients will experience VTE recurrence. From 1% per year in persons with unprovoked VTE who stop anticoagulation to 10% per year on anticoagulation in people with cancer-associated VTE. Look at this bottle. It contains a drug that has the potential to reduce the risk for VTE recurrence by 30% without increasing bleeding rates. Dr. Khan, this drug might even reduce the risk of PTS. Isn't it amazing? Side effects are infrequent. Millions of people around the world are taking daily. It's even available over the counter in the UK, not in Europe. Have you ever thought of such an amazing drug? The dream of all thrombosis physicians. Numerous cohorts, case-controlled studies, and meta-analysis suggest this drug can reduce VTE in all categories of patients, men and women, obese and non-obese, those who had a provoked or an unprovoked VTE. Even in patients with cancer-associated VTE, Dr. Noble. This incredible drug is taken once a day during anticoagulation and after anticoagulation ends. So you are wondering, what's the name of this drug? This drug is rosuvastatin, or could be a placebo. Indeed, we must demonstrate this magic drug actually works to prevent recurrent VTE. A pilot trial demonstrated the feasibility of the full-scale study. So I'm sorry for this. Yeah. 312 patients were enrolled in the trial. And this pilot trial was performed in 6 different sites in Canada and Norway. And it has demonstrated the feasibility of a larger scale trial. 20 patients, I would say 21 patients as of today, are currently enrolled in a full-scale trial. This trial has opened in Canada, will open soon in Norway and France. And we need our separate dragons to coordinate opening sites in the European Union and help coordinating the opening of Germany. So we received funds from CIHR in Canada, PHRC in France, Ministry of Health in Norway to run the trial. But we need Invent to help opening the centers in Germany and to coordinate in the European Union. So what is SAVER? SAVER is a trial where we include symptomatic proximal DVT and OPE patients who are included 30 days prior to the randomization. We will stratify variables by center, by provoked or unprovoked VTE. The choice of anticoagulation duration is at the discretion of the investigator, and this is an event-driven study. So we plan on including 2,700 patients. They will be randomized to rosuvastatin, 20 milligrams daily, or placebo on top of their standard of care of anticoagulation. They will be followed for 6 to 60 months. And the primary study outcome is the rate of recurrent major VTE event. And one of the secondary outcomes is the incidence of post-thrombotic syndrome. I said before, the study is already funded by CIHR in Canada, by PHRC in France, and in Norway as well. The sites have already opened in Canada or are currently opening. In Europe, all the INVENT countries are involved in the study and agreed to participate and include patients. The aim of the INVENT Dragon's Den competition fund would be to open Germany, as I said, and to help coordinate the European Union centers. Australia will also participate in the study. They are seeking for funds. So I'm happy to take your questions, Dragons, your remarks. I had a final slide that I cannot show you, but I'll try to manage that while you are asking your questions. Thank you.
Okay, so my time to start. Thank you very much for that. Can you just expand a little bit on your feasibility study? Because you said, you know, you recruited just over 300 patients. How many patients were screened, and how many patients then who were you went to recruit actually went into recruitment?
Yes, so thank you. That's the toughest part. So basically, so basically that's the so 3,000 patients were screened, but most of them were excluded because they already had an indication for taking a statin. So once you exclude these patients, there were about 900 patients who were eligible. Then we had to screen for a potential indication for primary prevention. So it left these 300 patients. So and this is a major limitation, of course, of the study. So to simplify that, we changed the inclusion criteria. So the inclusion criteria for the pilot study was no indication for statin, even for primary prevention. So we just skipped that and changed it to no indication for statins for secondary prevention. And we will not screen all patients for their cholesterol levels to make it more pragmatic. So it has to be as pragmatic as possible, even if it's a placebo-controlled trial. But yes, there's a lot of people who cannot be included just because they couldn't be included because they had an indication, a potential indication for statins.
Okay, Dr. Khan.
So excellent, Dr. Deluc, and thanks for mentioning PTS for my benefit. For those of you who don't live in Canada, this doesn't show, okay. It's a $50 bill, it sort of looks like Monopoly money. But you know, before deciding about spending our hard-earned dollars on your trials, I have a question that pertains to feasibility. I'm just wondering in the pilot trial whether you got any pushback from the younger patients with VTE who didn't want to be on some old geezer drug like a statin. Do we have information on that?
No, sorry, I don't have the mean age of people who refuse to participate, if that's the question. So I don't know if it's older people or younger people. It's true that so older people will be more likely to have an indication to statins. And so what struck me when we analyzed the data of the pilot was the age of the mean age of the patients who were included, because we had this, and it was a little bit younger than 50. So which is you know, unusual in the VT studies. You would expect 55, 60. So most of the patients who were included in the pilot were young, because the older had an exclusion criteria. They had an indication for statin.
Okay, and just a final question. I mean, we do know that statins can be associated with, you know, annoying and symptoms like muscle cramps and aches. And were those effects tracked in the pilot study? And could that be a limiting factor?
Yes, so it was tracked. So there were some side effects like this. Only one patient had an increase in his CPK levels. Yeah, but what I wanted to say about that is this very interesting study on the placebo effect or the nocebo effect. Because there are publications that show that the rate of side effects from statins are the same when patients are on statin or think they are on a statin. So I expect side effects, but I'm not sure it's going to be a major limitation to this study.
Thank you.
Good. Simon, any other questions to Aurélien?
No, thank you. I kind of lost it during the last answer, so now I just need to lie down now.
Suzanne, the audience, any questions there? No? Well, Aurélien, you had a good rate of people saying that would change practice, so that's already encouraging.
Yeah, and I think if your research doesn't work out, Aurélien, you could do stand-up comedy as a career.
Thank you.
Good.